Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Abegwhosendme. Abegwhosendme is a podcast for entrepreneurs and wannabe entrepreneurs. Thank you to our subscribers who has been listening. Thank you for spreading the word. Do continue to spread the word. Follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Is Abeg who sent me. Today we have an amazing guest in the house, and he's going to be speaking to the bloodline of every business, which is sales. How do you make sales? How do you generate revenue? Today we have Adewale Aderibigbe in the studio. He's a sales and marketing professional with a wide background in managing both online and offline product marketing and sales portfolios for effective use for any brand. He currently works with his team in Kenya, Cameroon, Ghana, and Rwanda to deliver cutting edge solutions to a wide range of customers. Wale is also a specialist in public relations and brand marketing. He is passionate about client satisfaction and end to end business communication. Wale, it's good to have you on Abegwhosendme this morning.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. So Wale, how do we make sales? Please help us. Because really that's I think the primary headache of any entrepreneur, apart from all of the challenges that we face. The question is, how do I move from these 2 customers I have to 5 customers?
Making sales is the bane of every business. I feel without sales, the business can't really run at optimal best. So I think sales guys are basically the lifeblood of every business, and making sales has to become everybody's job, from the CEO to even the gateman. So that is the sales process. That is how it goes. That's basically the roadmap. So, to answer that question in a very brief form, the only way that I know to make sales is by delivering value. When value is delivered, there is always an exchange. Whatever it is, that's a sales.
So to paraphrase, you're saying if you deliver value, you would make sales.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is the key. There are so many other rudiments involved, which of course we are going to touch in the course of the conversation. But I think the key thing for me and for those that I call my mentors, what I've seen them do is to bring out the value from whatever product it is, and that is where sales can emanate from. Without value, there can't be sales.
Okay. Wale, I've learned not to assume that I really understand what somebody is saying until I've asked, so that we're clear. So what does he really mean? So it's simple English, yeah. Deliver value, delivering value. But what does it really mean to deliver value? What is delivering values?
So the first thing is, so for example, if I was called to consult for maybe an entrepreneur, an SME, whatever it is, whether tech, whether product, or currently now I sell, like I basically sell art sports. The first thing that as a salesperson we will do is to number one, navigate what questions does this product answer, or what problem does my product solve, who are my markets now, or if it's marketing I would have said what's my target audience, but when it's sales we are going straight to the market, because the target audience might not be the spending audience. So who exactly am I looking at as my market? And I think those two answers are pivotal to identifying the value innate value in any product. So if I answer what problem does my product solve, so in fact, just answering what problem the product solves actually helps you to identify your target market. So diapers, for example, what product does it solve? What problem does it solve? In the base form, babies wear diapers, but is that the problem it solves? No. For someone that actually knows sales a lot, we know that the major problem we are trying to solve with diapers is to help mothers manage their time properly. It's better for them to put on diapers than to start looking for where they can their children can defecate or use the toilet. It's basically inconvenient. So that's the problem diapers solve. Now, what is the target market? The target audience for diapers are actually kids. But will the kids buy them? No, it's the mother that will buy. So the mothers are the market. The target audience will be the kids. So when they see something lovely, they tend to when they see something warm, something friendly, kids tend to gravitate towards it. But will they buy? No, it's the mothers that will buy. So I think that example should paint the right pictures in people's mind.
Okay, so while that was very apt, the diapers example, the problem, I like the construct of the problem statement. So you are not trying to just sell diapers, you are trying to save time for the mother and at the same time make the baby comfortable. But it brings to mind the question of, okay, so if the mother is my indirect market or indirect user, how do I sell to the mother? Do you understand my question, Wally?
Yes, I do perfectly. That is actually headaches. Like what you just said now actually causes major headaches in big FMCGs because oftentimes they identify the problem, they identify the market, they identify the indirect market. Oftentimes they fall short in leveraging on the problem statements and bridging a gap between direct and indirect markets. And I don't really like calling them direct and indirect market. I like calling them the real market and the buyer. So the buyer, which is I feel conversations words like that are just they just bring out the salesperson in me. So it makes it easier. So it's a lot, anyways. Bridging that gap, and it is not just having a sales strategy. It is not just having. It is not just knowing the market, the markets. It is not just telling a story or cold calling people. It is way more, which is where branding and marketing comes to play. I know, yes, sales is the end point. Sales is closing the deal, is closing everything.
Yes.
But everything that leads up to that will help you bridge a gap between your direct and indirect market, as you called it, and make sales easier. So let me again, I would like to state an example. So what we identify that the mothers or the parents make the buying decision, but the children will help them to make a buying decision.
Yes.
The children can't buy, the parents can buy. Every mother would want to please their child. I would necessarily want to make my child happy. You understand? So meaning I would also identify with what he identifies with. So if a brand identifies with my child, for example, let's say a diaper uses cartoon character like Paw Patrol. Let's say, for example, of course, every child will jump at that. It is easy for a mother to make the buying decision and say, yes, this is the product that I will buy because my baby likes this cartoon character. My baby talks about this cartoon character, and I can easily just buy this stuff and voila, I've solved a lot of problems. It might not be diapers, it might, especially kids' children, it might be kids, it might be whatever, you can call it anything. But basically, that makes it work for everyone, and it helps you bridge a gap between those two markets.
Okay. So if I were to summarize what I think you said, it all boils down to value, but then it must be something that the buyer can relate with, that is relatable.
Yes, identify with.
Yeah,
Yes,
they can identify with. Okay. So Wale, I just, my mind just keeps going back to the problem statement.
yeah,
Because I think that if we get it wrong in writing the problem statement, every other thing will go wrong in terms of who we market to, the target audience, every other conversation after that. So how does one write a proper problem statement? So for example, if I cook for people, if you ask me what problem am I solving, I would say I'm saving time. I'm helping people to be more healthy. Food is quite straightforward. For any kind of business, how do you think that a proper problem statement should be written? What do you think should be the constituents of a problem statement?
Okay, so that is also a very abstract thing. So I'm thinking of the weirdest of business right now. If you think of whatever weird business, whatever it is, maybe selling oxygen. Yes, selling oxygen is very weird. Or selling
Or comedians.
Or comedians. Comedians are really, they are not entrepreneurs anyways, but yes, let's think about that. Now, a comedian, someone that is green meaning that is not really used to sales, will say, oh, I'm making people laugh.
Yes.
That is the value I'm giving. But no, that is not the value.
Okay.
It is just a feature of the product. It is not the value. Value has to be something that is intangible. Yes. Value has to be something that is intrinsic to a man's character. The value statement, the problem statement, has to be created in a way that it resonates with your business. So the problem statement has to be personal. That's what I'm trying to say. It has to be unique. Yes, that's the word I need to use. It has to be unique to that business. So a comedian would create a problem statement like, okay, so what my product does, or the solution I offer is that I make, for example, I make people forget their worries, and I create therapeutic environment through the words that I use.
No. When you put it like that, it actually does make sense, because if it's therapeutic, that means that people are better. They are better off listening to you.
Exactly. So it doesn't have to be something they will laugh about. It might be something that intrigues them. It might be something that captures their attention. It might not be even the words that you say. It might be how you act. It might be the way you dress. It might be the way you react. It might be, for example, Mr. Bean doesn't even talk, but he makes people laugh. Mm-hmm. You understand? So it has to be something unique to you. Because you also have to consider competition. You also have to consider regulations. You have to consider a lot of things at the end of the day. So it boils down to, yes, creating a problem statement that radiates uniqueness to that business. And talking of radiating uniqueness to the business, one of the things I've noticed about entrepreneurs, especially in this part of the world, is oftentimes where I need to make money, which is good, which is very good. Yes, you need money to run the business.
It's for the money.
Now, Yes. Most businesses, they focus so much on making the money part and forget the customer satisfaction part. So many businesses, they forget the customer satisfaction part, and it lays credence to guys that have been at this thing for a lot of years. I'll give you an example. Coke.
Okay.
There was a time I was reading, I was going through Coke's annual revenue book, and I discovered that I think in 1999, 2000, they didn't really make profits, but they did a lot of CSR, they did a lot of marketing, they did a lot of advertising, they did a lot of consumer branding communications. So I was asking one of my guys, but why would you spend like $5 billion on getting to know your customer? Aren't you thinking money of the end? So I am not making money. Does this make sense? So he made a statement that made me realize, this is why those big boys will be there for a long time. When a customer is satisfied with your product, whatever it is, they become loyal. When you have a loyal customer, it is easy to upsell, it is easy to resell, it is easy to close all the kind of sell you want to sell. It is that is why you see people will jump on Coke, will jump on Fanta, will jump on Sprite. Easy. Very easy. In fact, you don't even need to market it a lot. It is because of brand loyalty. People know these things are harmful. We know all the scientists in this world, they have proved that Coke can kill, Coke can do this, they can do that, but there is this brand loyalty. We will drink it. If you go to any party, what we ask for is Coke. You understand? So I think entrepreneurs also need to inculcate customer satisfaction. It is also very important for sales. And another thing I'd like to say, I want to put all these things together so we can have a broader conversation. So another thing I am also passionate about is data marketing. Now, you asked me data marketing. I think 2020 during the pandemic, while we were at home, we were working from home. That was when I discovered data marketing. I'm 2 years in it now. I discovered that sales on its own is good, but there are ways to make sales more effective, and some Nigerians are open to it, or they are woke to stuff like this, but some are not.
Okay.
What data marketing really is mining data, mining the exact data for your business. So let me say an e-commerce site. I was reading a stat yesterday that 68% of the people that enter that open a cart in an e-commerce site, 68%, as in out of 100%, 68% don't make those sales. They just cancel at the end of the day.
Why?
And this data has been lying fallow for so long. Nobody's doing anything to it. I've seen it before. I just reread it again lately. That means 7 out of 10 people. 7 out of 10 people don't go further when it comes to buying. 7 out of 10. And people have been sitting on this. People have been sitting on this. So the question is why? Why do people quit halfway? Why do they, of which I do it and I'm sure you do it as well. Why do we open cards in Jumia? Or are we just checking for price and you just ghost?
You just ghost.
You just ghost Jumia. The thing is, yes, there's a cost issue. 2, maybe we'll find someone on Instagram that can sell it cheaper, or maybe we just decided, I don't need this thing now, I'll buy it later, or we weren't just interested, or we just forgot, or bad internet. So what is Jumia doing about this thing? Or what is Konga doing about this thing? This is what ASOS has done, which I think is very profound. I'm using ASOS for example, although ASOS is not really in the same line with Jumia and Konga. what ASOS has done is whenever you open a cart and you stop halfway, what they do now is they they follow you just like village people. They
And
follow
then
you to every channel.
that you go to.
Then they start retargeting and start announcing a lot of discounts. So let's say you were going to buy a jean jacket. ASOS would go to your Instagram page and do a sponsored post on 15% discount on the same jean jacket you were about to buy, and make it look urgent.
Like,
And
if you don't buy it now,
if you don't buy it now, it's going to go away. That works. That is one example. So what about guys that don't really do e-commerce, or what about other e-commerce sites? What should they do? I believe that every business that is looking at thriving in sales must make time for data marketing. Look for the data in your field. Look for guys for if you sell real estate.
but
look
Wale,
for guys
sorry
that
to
have
cut
applied.
you. How easy is it to get data, knowing that most of the entrepreneurs are just probably starting? So money is a very, is like
It's a very important.
is a very important. So they don't have so much. They don't have so much leeway to stretch. So how expensive
Yes.
is this data? How easy is it to come by?
To be honest, I don't even think data is very expensive. I think there are sites. Yes, there are some dark webs that will give you free data. For example, I'm sure you know our name is out there. Someone is buying our name in Nigeria. I'm just saying, for example, even our INEC data registration, someone puts it on Twitter. Basically, yes, there are some legit sites though that can give you this data. Relationships can give you. Through relationship, you can get all this data. I was saying, for example, a real estate company that wants to sell land, you can just approach those banks and say, oh, that you would like to get the data of those people that apply for mortgage. It's as simple as that. I'm sure banks will give you. So if you can get guys that applied for mortgage in banks, you just sell your real estate properties to them. You know these guys are actually interested in buying houses. It's as simple as, oh, okay guys, we sell lands. Banks have guys that applied for mortgage. Enter into a partnership. Oh, give them this mortgage so they can buy from us. We'll give you a certain percent. It's as simple as that.
Wow.
If you sell food stuff, go to companies and get data of just create a good. You can actually even create a Google Sheet and get data of what you need to get. Sorry, I said Google Sheet. Google questions.
Okay.
Those stuff will go a long way to help you to help you form a business statement. In fact, to help you with sales and where to focus on, because one of the major, not one, but another part of the major problem that most entrepreneurs face is where to focus their sales efforts. Oftentimes, if the focus or if the effort is scattered, the result will also be scattered.
Very
And
true.
that is very frustrating. That is very, very frustrating. So if you can focus the effort in one resource or in a resource, oh, this will work based on this data I have gotten. You understand? You will get the result easily. Yes. I think another thing that I would also like to talk about before we go on is the we call it low hanging fruits.
Yes.
That is what we call it. As any salesperson will understand why low hanging.
Yes, sir.
Low hanging fruits are guys that you don't really need.
You don't need
minimum
stress.
efforts,
You just
or exactly. Or
you just
you get
stretch your hand.
maximum results.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, I don't know why Nigerian entrepreneurs want to start with the big guys. Why, I don't know. Start with the low hanging fruit. I think that should just be the process.
Okay, so
This
Wale,
low-hanging fruits.
how do you identify low hanging fruits?
So if I'm a musician, I'm saying for example, if I'm a musician and I have
You wish,
and I
Abi?
have an album, I wish. You know my low hanging fruits. My low hanging fruits are my immediate family.
They are the
My
only.
church
They are the only
members,
fruits.
everybody on my streets, everybody will buy their album. Everybody. You understand? I'm just saying, for example. Now, so but to be frank now, low hanging fruits are guys, especially for entrepreneurs. You have to discover. I think in economic grading ratio, these are your middle class, your level C economic grading guys. They don't have a lot of money, but they still have enough money to get things done. Start with them, or start with businesses on your level. When you grow with them, or when you get them on board to whatever you're trying to sell, it makes a lot of sense. A comedian will start by telling his jokes to those around him to know whether he's funny or not funny. Start in a very small place, grow from there, build brand loyalty, then it is easy for you to approach those big guys. Because to approach those big guys, they will ask for your antecedents. They're going to ask for your portfolio.
Your portfolio.
Who are the guys that have used you? You understand? So
you need those people.
Things. Yes, those are the things that will speak for you, and those are the ways that you can sell.
Okay. So Wale, sorry to, I always like to paraphrase from time to time so that we can congeal the thought. So for the low hanging fruits are one of the best ways that an entrepreneur can make money, and then your low hanging fruits are people in your network, your immediate network, your circle of friends, your family, people in your neighborhood, people that you don't have, the link between you and them is just you and them. You don't have anybody in between. Those are the low hanging fruit. That is thank you for that, and that speaks to the fact that you should start from where you are and have conversation. If you're delivering value, you go from there. So I think it takes me back to the first question I asked, which is, okay, so low hanging fruit, I have, let's say my friend and my sister are already my customers. That's 2. How do I make those 2 customers 5? How do I increase sales? How do I move from 2 to 5?
So, we have answered that question. We have answered that question along the way, and we have actually built on it.
Yes.
So we have answered that question with delivering value. We have answered the question in creating a problem statement. We have answered the question in having in building the bridge between your direct and indirect market. We have answered the question with creating a clear and articulate sales strategy that can help you move faster. We have answered the question in prospecting, data marketing. We have answered the question by also stating identify those guys that are your immediate environment. Now, if I put all those things together and put it in layman words, so one of the easiest way to move from 2 customers to 5 customers is your current 2 customers service them so much that they realize the value in what you're doing. After servicing them in a good way, that didn't come out right. After delivering value, to them, then move from there to prospecting. Prospecting meaning get the exact data you need for your business. Know the kind of identify the people you need to talk to more often. Identify the people you need to also reach out to because they are there. Every business has a data. I don't care what other business it is. Every business has a data, and I'm sure there's a data, and then there's a way to get it. When you can identify the data, prospect properly, then you can create. Another thing I need to mention before I forget is, if you have a loyal customer, it is easy for you to, as I think I mentioned the example, it is always easy for you to upsell and resell. So do all that bit with with the customers you have created. Create an articulate plan with all those things, including your data. Create an articulate plan that will be in stages. Since you have identified your niche market, you have identified the prospects you need to go with, you identify the low hanging fruit, and you know, of course, that your product provides value. So I'm sure it's just a seed of time before you grow from 2 to 5. Yes, you also need to be consistent. And so consistent in the sense that sales will not just happen. It will look like it happened overnight, but you have been consistent at it.
It never happens overnight.
It never happens overnight, but you have been consistent about it. You kept at it. Then to others it looks like, yes, this happened overnight. No, it didn't happen overnight, because you have connected with decision makers, you have connected all the dots, and you have built a strategy. For entrepreneurs, eventually another thing that they would also need to master is the art of cold calling, especially in Nigeria. Because of the kind of work
scary. Cold calling is scary.
Cold calling can be very scary.
But Wale, please, before we go into cold calling, I want us to put a ribbon around the gifts that we've crafted in the last few minutes, which is, how do you create you mentioned something about creating a clear and articulate sales strategy. How do you create one? How do you create a clear and articulate sales strategy?
Well, when something is clear and articulate, it means it is written down.
Okay.
It has to be the holy grail of the business. And I feel a clear and articulate sales strategy is what I've actually stated. A sales strategy must first and foremost have the problem statements. It must have the value that you are providing. A sales strategy must highlight the market, must highlight the target audience, must highlight the decision makers. A sales strategy must also have the exact prospect data that you need. For real estate guys, you have the data that you need to foster. A sales strategy must also highlight the first step, which is the low-hanging fruit. So identify the low-hanging fruit, then identify how to get to the low-hanging fruit. I think those are the things that basically constitute a sales strategy. What the other parts that you might have to just include is getting it done, which is bringing the marketing and the branding part to fore, and circling back on how to connect with sales. I think that is how you create a sales strategy.
Wow, thank you very much, Wale. That was beautifully crafted. Okay, so on the final note, let's talk about cold calling. Even me, after many years of doing sales or running businesses, cold calling I still have to give myself a pep talk before I do a cold call.
We all actually, you're not the only one. So, I think the one habit that I found is, it is either you say yes or no. It doesn't make for money.
It cannot kill you. The person cannot beat you.
Exactly. We have not even got into that. So one thing that I make it exciting. So I do not look at it as cold calling. I look at it as getting a relationship. So for me, what I've built is a psychology. So I don't look at it as cold calling anymore. I look at it as, I'm trying to make this stranger a friend. So let us have a conversation. The conversation is not me asking you to do anything for me. Let me get to know you. you can only sell when there's a relationship. And it doesn't have to be a cordial relationship, but there has to be a relationship. So, and the best way to make relationship is by making that person feel important. Well, making that person important. I don't make people feel important. Make that person important. Your needs are important to me. Well, your beliefs, whatever it is, they're important to me.
I see you. I don't only see your money, but I see you.
Exactly. I see exactly. Now, I know most entrepreneurs don't have time for that. So we get people to do that. But whoever we get to do that, teach them the culture of knowing cold calling is building relationship. It is very important. You cannot just, and it happens to everybody, especially when those telecoms guys, they just call us, hi, I'm calling from Kini company. We noticed that no now. Ask me how my day was. Ask me
how Lagos is treating me.
Don't just go straight to the point. Like oftentimes we end up calling the call, or we are saying no, it's not a good time. Bye bye, pam. And that is how it is. We are humans. You are talking to humans, so you must also there has to be a human part of it. And that is what I tell my colleagues. You are talking to someone, you don't know what that person has got. You cannot just assume the person is superhuman. No, the person is human. Maybe he was late to work, or maybe he had a flat tire, you don't know. But you can know through the conversation. So have a genuine conversation. Yes, you have a lot of people to call, but start a genuine conversation. Then you can
genuinely interested in what they have to say. Not reading a script. Exactly. Most times people just, good morning, my name is Titi calling from some.
I know, it's a sales pitch. Everybody has an elevator
pitch.
Everybody does. But I think for entrepreneurs to make a lot of sense out of cold calling, which I know is one of the major tools for sales, you have to be able to build a conversation and be genuinely interested in whatever the person has to offer. Another thing that I tend to do when it comes to sales is I control the conversation by asking questions, which is what you are doing right now. That is the only way you can direct the conversation. It is the person that listens that controls the conversation.
That's
true.
Don't know. That's true.
Very true. The person that listens that controls the conversation, because if the person doesn't respond, you have to keep talking. If the person talks, then you have to keep quiet and listen. So when you throw questions, you can actually create a solution for the client, which makes more sense. So that's just a few $2 and $1. Sorry, $1, $2.
$2. Thank you very much, Wale. It really has been an educative conversation. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad it was.
Yeah, it was. Yes, thank you. So we'd hope to come and disturb you soon.
It's fine. I'm at your beck and call.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.